friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tag which has been created by my friend Joanna, and I will link her channel down below. She's very new to booktube, but I'm loving her content so far, and you should just you should watch her content and admire her hair. She has like the best hair. It's just so, I don't know, luscious, but her content is also really good. So she came up with this original tag and asked a few of us if we wanted to do it along with her and then release the videos all around the same time. So the tag is create your own adventure fantasy characters. So let's just dive right in. The first prompt is fantasy twin, name a character you can relate to. So I found this a pretty tricky one because there's, in quite a few characters, you can see aspects of yourself in them and you can sort of see how you might act in the same way as them. So I had to really think about this one. In the end, I picked Vivenna from Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. So the reason I picked Vivenna is because she is a sister. She's the elder sister and I am an older sister as well. I have one younger sister and I sort of feel as though we both have that same mentality and responsibility towards our younger sibling and wanting to protect them and look after them. So in this world, Vivenna has been prepared all her life to be married off to a king of another kingdom, and at the beginning of the book, her father decides to send her younger sister in her stead. And so she is feeling responsible for that. And I feel as though if I was in that situation, I would have the exact same mentality and would want to be going to protect my younger sister and would want to be helping her. So yeah, that is why I feel as though I relate to Vivenna. The next prompt is hero. Name a character you aspire to be like. So I have picked, again, this one I struggled with because again, there are characteristics of characters that I would like to be able to emulate. So I have picked Shay from Jade City, and the reason I picked Shay is because she has like such agency. So at the beginning of the book, she has just returned to Kakan, which is where this is set, and she has spent a large portion of her life outside of Kakan, and she wanted to like get away from her family and like experience her own life. And so Jade is like the means of power in this world, and people wear jade, and the more jade you wear, the more power that you have. And she has actively chosen to take off her jade so that she doesn't have this like, not constraint, but she feels as though she is being restricted by her family. And her family is one of the, I guess, ruling families, and there's like a mafia war going on between them and another family over control of the city and the jade within it. So I feel as though she has very strong agency because of that and the choices that she is making, and she has to make some very tricky decisions in this. I also aspire to her cleverness. Like, she is so clever, and she's sort of, I guess, a bit overlooked in the family because of being a woman and for having tried to live outside of Kakan. And so she's really clever, and so she's got all this knowledge, and I'm like, oh, I wish I was as clever as that. I wish I could like piece together all the information the way she does. So I aspire to like those two aspects of her. If she were to put on jade, then she would be very strong as well. So, you know, I'd love to have strong magical abilities. Prompt number 3 is champion. Name a character you would want to be your champion in a duel. I don't have any magical abilities, unfortunately. I'm also not particularly strong, so I wouldn't do very well in a duel at all. So I would definitely need a champion to support me, and so I picked Vin from the Mistborn series because she is a Mistborn, and so she has loads of powers. She can tackle like many men all at one time because she's just got like all the powers. Like, she has super strength from burning pewter. She can push and pull on metallic objects and like spray coins at people. She can influence people's emotions. Like, she's a one-woman band and could completely like take on anyone. So I would really like Vin to be my champion in a duel because I feel as though she would just like thrash everyone, and I don't think Vin has like the capacity to lose. Like, in her head, she's always trying to protect people, so she would protect me, hopefully. Prompt number 4 is unlikable character. Name a character you love to hate. So I have picked Alex from Ninth House by Lee Bardugo, and the reason, I didn't find her that unlikable. She is unlikable, but you can completely understand why she is the way she is. So she's very abrasive as a personality, but you know why. Like, you get her history and her backstory. So I feel as though all of her cold and abrasive tendencies are because of who she is and the way she's been brought up. I can completely understand why she is the way she is, and that makes her less unlikable to me. Granted that she's not the nicest of people. I probably would not want to be her friend. I would not want to, like, yeah, I wouldn't want to know her, but as a fictional character, I like her. The next would be Tavern Buddy. Name a character you would want to have a drink with. So I would like to have a drink with Addie LaRue from The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I mean, hopefully I wouldn't forget the experience as soon as she left the tavern, or I'd have a pen and paper so I could write down everything she says. So Addie LaRue as a character, has made a deal with the devil, and this deal means that she can live forever, but she is also forgotten as soon as she leaves the person's presence. And she's 300 years old, so she made this deal back in the 1700s. So I would love to have a drink with her and just talk through her history and what it was like for her living her life through all these different ages of history and all the different people that she's met. I think she would be a really interesting person to just have a chat with and like get to know. And I mean, I love history and I love different time periods, and I would love to be able to experience them. I don't know if I want to live in different time periods permanently. I'm pretty happy living in the 21st century, but I think it'd be very interesting to see what it was like for her and see all the different people she met, all the different time periods she went through, all the different like experiences that she's had, and just be able to have a chat over a drink. The next prompt is villain. Name a character you would not want to cross paths with. So the character I would hate to ever meet, because he is a horrible person, is Lycos from the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. He's not so present in the first book, Malice, but he really comes into his own in the rest of the series, and he is just the worst. He is the absolute worst person ever. He is horrible, and he's just cruel. So Lycos comes from the islands, which are off the coast of the Banished Lands, and they are sort of warring people that go around like hitting the mainland and like ravaging all the people there and taking their resources. And on these islands they have fighting pits and slaves, and they're very aggressive people. And Lycos is like he's the king of those islands, and so he's like the champion for these pits that pit people against each other, and you either kill these people or you die. And he is just so manipulative and just a disgusting human. Like, I hate him. And I'm sure a lot of people that have read this series would agree with that. He's just the worst of humanity. He is like the very worst person. So I would hate to ever meet him. The next prompt is mentor. Name a character you would want to learn from or have as a mentor. So I would like to have Ali or Alizad as a mentor from the David trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty. I love this series. You all need to go read this, as it's amazing. Main character Nari meets Ali at some point in the book. He is one of the POV characters, and he is from the city of David, so he has been brought up surrounded by the jinn. Nari is coming into this as a human who has only just discovered that she is part jinn. So Ali is teaching Nari about her culture, about the city, about what's going on there, about her powers. A lot of the jinn are able to call fire, and so he's teaching her all about the magic, and he's also he's teaching her about the culture and the political situation. So he's just so endearing. He's bookish. He's a nerd. Like he spends his time like reading books and in the library, and he's just so like, he's very innocent, I'd say, in this first book. He's not very worldly, but he is very moral. That he like sticks to his morals. He knows what he wants. He's very naive, but he's just so cute. And yeah, I would really love to have him as a mentor, just because he's also he knows how to fight as well. Like, he's very skilled with, I can't remember what the blade is called as well, but he's very skilled with it. So I feel as though he'd just be a very well-rounded teacher. But he's very well read, and he also knows how to fight, so I feel like he could just teach me everything that I might want to know. The next prompt is Samwise. So name a character who you would trust with your life. I would trust, weirdly enough, Clef from Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett with my life. I love Clef. He is such a cool character. He is a key. So that's why it's a bit weird that I would trust him with my life. But at the beginning of the book, the main character Sansia comes across a key called Clef, and Clef is a magical object, but he has a personality, and Sansia is able to communicate with Clef, and Clef he's just so funny. Like, I just love their communications and the way they interact with each other. The magic system in this world is that objects are scribed, which means that they are coded to do something. So for example, wheels will move going forwards even if they're going uphill, because they've been scribed to believe that they are constantly on a downward trajectory, which is really cool. So you don't need to have like a horse and cart, you just have the wheels and the wheels will move. So there are also scribed locks which will only open if the very specific key that they are designed for will fit into that lock. And Clef is able to like override all of these rules, and he's able to like manipulate these objects to do what he wants, and he like works around their logic. And I just feel as though he'd be able to protect me, because he'd be able to get me out of like any situation. Like, he's very clever. Like, he can sense when other people have scribed objects. He has more power than just being a key. He's a very powerful object, and I would love to have him on my side if I was ever in a tricky situation. So yeah, I would trust in Clef to get me out of anything. And then the final prompt is found family. If you could adopt one character, who would it be? So I've decided to adopt Rin from the Poppy War series, because I feel as though if she had a nice family and she was brought up in a loving way, and she could still go to a great school, I feel as though she wouldn't be so bad. She wouldn't be so unlikable, she wouldn't be so evil, she wouldn't feel the need to like rain havoc over the whole world. I think if she just had a loving environment from the beginning, she would be a lovely human being, and she would use all her powers for good. So I would adopt Rin and just treat her as a loving human being, and give her the life that every human deserves. I mean, I hope that would go to plan, because I'd hate to adopt Rin and then for her to like hate me and want to destroy me, because that would just be traumatic. So those are all of my answers for the Create Your Own Adventure Fantasy Characters Edition. Thank you so much for Joanna for thinking of me and including me in this video concept. I will link her video down below, along with all the other creators that have also contributed towards creating this tag and will have released their videos. You should go and check all of them out. They are all amazing and they create amazing content. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!